Okay, so let's jump right in there. Today's project, we're going to replace this lock assembly with a complete new assembly. Now, it's personal preference which one you pick up. I happen to pick up one that I wanted for this particular door, but it's personal preference for yourself. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the door. And here, you'll see there's a couple of screws here. We'll need to take these two screws out, but before we take those out, in the back of the lock, right over here, there's two screws in the back right here that we're going to need to remove first. So let's take these two screws out first. Let's take off this handle, and we'll take out this handle, separate them, and then we'll come in here and take this out right here. As far as the tools you're going to need, you're really not going to need a lot of tools. Let me show you what you'll need, and then we'll get in there and we'll get this done. Okay, so this is all you're really going to need. We have a Phillips head screwdriver, which is most likely all we're going to need. We have a flathead screwdriver, just in case. We have a small wood chisel in case we need to chisel out any of the existing door that we're going to put the new latch into. And we may need a hammer just to get in there to tap out anything that needs to be cut out. All right, so this is what I'm talking about right here. Sometimes you'll have to come in here and you'll need to accommodate the new plate that's going to go in here. So you may have to cut this a little bit to get it to slide in so that it's flush. Remember, this needs to be flush with the door itself. You don't want it protruding out and it'll wind up hitting in the door frame when it closes. All right, so we're going to come in here first and we'll get started and we'll see how it goes if we need to chisel this out. Most likely we're not going to, because you can see this one here is round and the replacement we have as well is round as well. Now this one here is a Schlage lock, which I am replacing it with the exact same brand, just a little bit different look. All right, so the screws I was telling you about are these screws in the back right here. This one and this one. And we'll take that out and we'll put the new one in. Okay, so the first thing we'll do, as we said, we'll take these two screws out right here. We're going to unscrew them. We'll take one totally out and the other we'll come back to as soon as we are ready to remove the entire lock. So let's take these out. Be careful as you're removing it. You don't want to drop it and break any tiles or anything that you may have on the floor. All right, so now after we have that one screw out, we're going to come around the back. We're going to hold the back of it with our hand, and then we'll take out the other screw right here. Take it out, and then we'll take this piece out right here, and we'll remove this and put this in a safe location. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this, take this screw here and remove it. Same thing right here, take that screw out. Okay, take the lock, pull it out. Sometimes they stick a little bit, so you can just pry it out and it comes right out just like that. All right, take our replacement. We bring it in here like this, push it in, and we'll see if it fits. As you can see, this one fits in there really well. So we don't have to cut anything in here. But sometimes when you try to put this in, this needs to be chipped away a little bit with the chisel. And if that was the case, you'd come in here with the chisel like this, and you would just chisel out whatever you had to on the corners here. But as I said, that's not the case right here. Okay, we're going to put this in like this. Remember, when you put this latch in, you want to have it so that this closes into that plate over there and it rubs against it. So we'll slide this in just like that. We'll grab our two screws and we'll screw the screws in here. I always recommend using the new screws versus the old stuff. All right, so we're going to screw this in here partially. We're not going to screw it in tight. We're just going to screw it in loosely for now, just so it touches it to hold it in place. Okay, and we'll screw it down until it's just snug. We want it loose, we don't want it tight, as I said. So it still moves inside here a little bit. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to grab our handle. We're going to put our handle through right here where it belongs, just like this. Okay, remember you want to put the keyed part wherever you want to have it. Now, my particular application, I wanted the key to the inside, so that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to take it and put it over the back right here. We're going to move it around so that this piece right here, this rod, lines up inside that hole with this here. So you may have to move this around with your finger, but we'll see how that goes. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to come around and we're going to screw in here and a screw in here. Okay, remember we're going to hold the handle here like this, and we'll get the screw, and we'll put the screw right in here and catch it by hand. Just a couple of threads right now. Okay, once you have both screws caught inside the lock itself, then we can come up and we can tighten these up all the way. Doesn't have to be super tight, just snug. Right? Once they're tight, we'll come over here to the door frame itself. Make sure that these are tight. And they are. All right, so our lock works the way it's supposed to. Let's close it and see if it works okay. Just the way it's supposed to. And of course, we have our key right here. Let's try our key. Make sure it works okay. It does. Lock it. Make sure it's locked. It locks just the way it's supposed to. Okay? So let's next open up our door. And we'll come in here and we're going to change this striker right inside here. So let's grab a screwdriver and let's do that. You know, let me point one thing out to you real quick here. Now, if you have your door lock that you've put on, but this handle doesn't belong facing this direction, you want the handle on the other side, you would take your key that comes provided with the new lock, you come in over here, you take it and you push it into that small little hole right there. You push it in and then hold it and you pull the whole assembly off. Sometimes you'll need to play around to get it to move. You may have to lock the lock. And now we'll push it in and push it, and we can pull the entire assembly off just like this. This key, you would push it in, you would push that little tiny piece right there, and you would push it in until it actually pushes in so that you could pull this off. And you would take this handle, and of course at this point the handle would not go on here, but you would have to put the handle on the opposite side. This one would come off this side and it will go on this side over here, and vice versa. You would take this one and you would bring it onto this side over here. Okay, now to put it back on, you just take it, you bring it back in, move it around until everything lines up, and then push it and it locks in place. And now that handle is locked in its position. All right, and it closes just the way it's supposed to and unlocks just the way it's supposed to. Okay? All right, so let's change that striker plate there and we'll finish this job off. We'll just take this screw here, unscrew it. Same thing here. Okay, let's take our striker plate off, grab our new replacement, hold it up in there, make sure it lines up okay. It does. Let's take the screws, put the screws in here, and we'll finish this off. Okay, just snug, does not have to be real tight. And I'll close the door and make sure it works. Okay. Works perfectly. All right, that's all there is to it. All right, and that is how you change a lock to replace with a new one. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.